everybody. I am MK.
I am Coach Sammy Love.
And we want to welcome you guys to Level Up Podcast.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. What was going on over there, sis?
I was trying to tag people already, but I wasn't doing it right. Stop laughing at me.
Y'all, I already know. I don't even know, y'all. It's gonna go up from here at this point. I tell y'all, when she do starts, I'm like, okay, we're gonna go up from here. So hello to each and every one of you guys. Please go ahead. Y'all know what I always ask y'all to do. It's a big favor. I know it's stretching it, but if y'all can do this favor, go ahead and tag at least 3 people into the comments. Tag at least 3 comments and go ahead and share as well. Please share with all of your followers, your family, your friends, those you know who just needs to be encouraged on tonight, y'all. I really believe, as I always say, that the topics that God gives us, because I really believe honestly it's stuff that God gives us, it's definitely going to bless somebody. So please do us a huge favor, y'all, and tag some people in, those who you know who just probably been feeling down, those who maybe going through certain things through this season, especially the topic that we're going to be discussing on tonight. I really believe it is going to help some people. So please tag 3 people, y'all. Don't be stingy with your followers. Don't be stingy with your friend list. Right? Please go ahead and share, tag y'all. As y'all come in, please say hello, because we love to greet you guys. We love to acknowledge you guys in regards to just taking that time out just to spend with us. So please, as you guys hop on, I do see a couple of people on now. Just go ahead and let us know that you are tuning in, even if you're at work, because I know a lot of people be listening to us while they're at work, or even if they're cooking. Just still say hello. You ain't got to keep commenting, although we love the support. Hey, Michaela, girl, we miss you.
Hey, girl.
We miss you.
Where you been?
We miss you. So we love you guys. We appreciate you guys' support, as we always say. Remember, continue to stay connected with us on Instagram. You have us under level_up with 3 P's _now. And then you also have Facebook for Level Up. And then you also have YouTube, which is Level Up with 3 P's podcast. So don't forget to like and subscribe when you are on there. And if you guys have any topics, questions, concerns, whatever it may be, you guys can always submit that to email with us, and that will be at levelup1322@gmail.com. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this, y'all. I'm gonna toss it over to
No, you ain't done yet.
What you mean?
You gotta give a disclosure. You got some stuff.
I was gonna do that. We keep going through the same thing. It was gonna be after. But okay, y'all. So let me give her a time, because she's tagging way more people. She feeling generous tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her write. She said, she said, I almost missed y'all today. Shaking my head. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, we try to do the reminders, y'all, because we get it. It is the holiday season, and we do know that people are out and a lot of other things that people are doing and stuff. So we try our best to make sure we set those reminders. And then that's why we make sure we tag some folks in. Hello, Minister Portia. So I'm gonna give us our disclaimer. Since Coach is over there still, tagging away, I'm gonna give the disclaimer, you guys, which is, when we come on here, for myself and Coach Sammy Love, we love to help people. We love to pour into people. We love to push people. And so with that being said, you guys, what we push you guys with, encourage you guys with, is basically things that we have went through, our own personal opinions of things, and certain stuff of how we've handled certain seasons and certain things that God has done in our life. Hey, Pastor Jay. So we give you our opinions. We give you our experiences. We give you some of the wisdom that we had to apply. We give you some of the knowledge. So at the end of the day, you guys, you don't have to follow through with anything that we say. We would love for you to, because we know that it will bless you and it will help you and encourage you. But at the end of the day, you guys, we basically, like I said, we speak from experience and our opinions. So you don't have to follow through with it, but we always want to make sure we give that disclaimer out there for those that are watching, whether you are watching now or whether you catch it on replay. That is just basically what we do, is we give our experiences and our opinions and things that God dealt with us with. All right, Coach, I'm turning it over to you. You finish now.
Now you can tag some folks.
Oh,
I didn't get all the work on tonight.
No, you did not.
So my job is to remind you guys to go register for the Level Up Conference. Oh my goodness. We want to thank those who have already registered. We thank you for registering.
Yes.
Thank you for securing your ticket. You're going to be in the house, and I'm just so excited just about what's going to transpire on that day. So once again, it's the Level Up Conference. It's February the 24th, 2024. It is fast approaching, y'all. This year is almost up. It's the Level Up Conference. No more excuses. Trust and believe we're going to bring the fire because we always cause you to level up. So go ahead and get your tickets. We tell you that the seating is limited. Don't wait till the last minute because you will miss out. I'm gonna say that again. If you wait to the last minute, you will miss out. And if anybody know me, I don't make no exceptions. So go ahead and go get your ticket. Go on over to Eventbrite, get your ticket, secure your seat. So therefore you can know that you're going to be in the house while you out shopping. Hey, make that ticket a part of your Christmas list. Hey, ask you what you want. Hey, I want to go to the Level Up Conference. Purchase my ticket. You know what I'm saying? If you have to have somebody else purchase your ticket, if you're going to have them do it, you might as well go for the top package. Get it all.
The top of the line.
Because let me tell you, it's fast approaching, and we just want you to be there because we know it's going to be fire. So that's it. Go register for the Level Up Conference. And we also want to say that we only have one more show after this, you guys.
Yeah.
And we was just thinking about that. Like, we have one more show. For those who do not know, either you may be new to watching us or maybe you forgot, but we do it in seasons. So this show is actually a part of our third season. So we do seasons and episodes. So this is a part of our third season, and we do 7 episodes. So today is our 6th episode. So we have one more episode next week. And after that, we will not be back on live until January 2024. So we are going to miss you guys. I mean, but you can always go back and look at the old videos and watch how far we've come. Because I went back and I told her I went back and looked just to see how far we come from the first day we went live into now. And we've come that far just in those months. So it's exciting, y'all. But I just wanted to let you guys know that. But yeah, that's what we're doing. I think
that's what we do.
Everything.
Yeah, you said everything. Like, I'm really excited though. I'm excited for the conference. I'm excited even just for the new season that we're going into with Level Up. It's just very exciting, you guys. And like I said, we can't stress this enough or even just keep saying it, but we really do appreciate you guys for hanging in with us, for being consistent. Some of you guys have been on with us from day one, you know, and so we really do appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys interacting with us, because I know I love for people to interact. I don't like to feel like I'm just talking and it's just a brick wall, but you guys honestly come in, you guys share your opinions, y'all share whether it's some questions or whatever, even topics. Like, we really do appreciate the support, and we just thank each and every one of you guys. So
I want to even say for my book, I don't know if y'all can see that, it's too light, but you can't even see it, huh?
All right, go the other way.
There we go.
Back it up a little bit. And raise it up. Okay, just okay.
Right there. There it go. So y'all, this is my book. It is actually 1 year old this month. I just wanted to throw it out there. Casey, you wanted a good read. It's called Triumphant, Rejection Defeated, Purpose Abound, Life After the Plane. It is actually my autobiography, and it's written by me, Coach Sammy Love. You can get it on you can get it on Amazon. It's still there to purchase, or you can even reach out to me. I have copies that I have, and you can actually send me the money and I will mail it to you. But this is my book. It's my autobiography, and this is my first book. I got more books coming, but if you would like to have a good read, this is the book you should get. That's all.
Yes. Hey, my sister is on. Hey, Apostle. It actually is a great read, you guys. I mean, you will be crying, but get you some Kleenex with that, because it's a very powerful book. But what I would even say too, Coach, when we get off, definitely just go ahead and just post it on the page with the link.
Okay.
So that way people can be able to purchase the book. But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and dive into this. Once again, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Continue to tag at least 3 people and share. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So the topic for tonight, you guys, is life after the wilderness. Life after the wilderness.
I love it.
Oh, Sammy Love, what you got for me?
I love it already. I think when I even was thinking about this and we came up with this topic, I'm gonna give my standpoint because I can honestly say that I'm on the other side of the wilderness. I made it out. And my standpoint is that the wilderness is for a season. I don't believe it's something that you continue to go through.
Yes.
It can be a long season. Like I can literally say maybe I was in the wilderness for about 5 years, 4 to 5 years.
Good Lord.
So it can be a long season, but I don't believe like, okay, so I did all that 4 to 5 years in the wilderness, and next year I'm going back in the wilderness. No, I believe the wilderness is a one-time experience. I believe the wilderness is a season that God takes you through to do things in you to prepare you for the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that process is what happens in the wilderness.
That's
my mindset when I look at the wilderness. And when you see me talk about the wilderness, I smile. But it's crazy because I didn't know I was in the wilderness until I came out the wilderness. I knew things in my life felt like they wasn't working right. I knew like I was tithing and it seemed like I was still broke. I was doing all these things and it still like seemed like nothing was shifting. It was like I felt like I'll get a little bit, but then not all of it because I know what God said about me. So it was like I was getting a taste of this and that, but not the whole thing. And so I knew like, what is this going on? So I didn't know until I came out that the Lord was like, you were in the wilderness. And so different things happen. And so my view of the wilderness, I can smile about it because there were things that took in place in the wilderness that could only happen in the wilderness. And so that's why I'm able to look at the wilderness as a place of process. I'm actually going to write a book on the wilderness, but I'm actually write a book. And but I look at it as a place of process. I look at it as a place of transformation. I look at it as a place of change. I believe all those things happen in the wilderness, and we need the wilderness. And I had to go through the wilderness. Jesus went in the wilderness. Like I believe we need the wilderness before we get to where we're going because things need to fall off of us. Things need to be pruned off of us. Things that need to be burned off of us. Things needs to be seared off of us. So things need to happen in the wilderness that would not happen if you do not go through the wilderness. So when we were talking about the wilderness, I was like excited. But my thing when we talked about life after the wilderness, I wanted people to be encouraged to know that that restoration comes after the wilderness.
Oh, that's good.
There is no restoration, I believe, in the wilderness. I believe that it comes after the wilderness, that God begins to restore. And we know that when God restores, it's not like how it was. So I believe restoration comes after the wilderness experience. That's when I experienced major healing. That's when I experienced certain things because I truly believe I had to endure some things in the wilderness. And it's almost like you're going to endure these things and then I'll clean it up when you get out. So I'm going to allow these things to happen to you in the wilderness. And then when you come out, I'm going to give you some new shoes and some new clothes. I'm not going to give you new shoes and new clothes in the wilderness because they're going to get messed up again.
Ooh, right.
So I'm not going to give you your priestly robe. I'm not going to give you your queen or your king garments until you come out the wilderness. Why? Because in the wilderness, you don't need those things. In the wilderness, I'm teaching you something. So, you know, it reminds me of when the Bible says that Christ says to reign with him, you have to suffer with him. And we know that suffering always comes before the crown. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So those things come before you reign. So it's like in the wilderness, you have to go through those things. So then when you come out on the other side, you're able to put on the priestly garment. You're able to put on the things that God has called you to do because you have went through the wilderness. And so that's how I see the wilderness.
And it's it was so funny, y'all, when we was coming up with these topics. Hey Milan, hey Tiara. It's crazy because when we come up with certain things, y'all, like I said, it's based off of what we honestly feel like, you know, God is wanting us to speak to, help us to get the message across for other people. But then most times it's always stuff that me and Coach Sammy Love actually can relate to. And, you know, certain things we went through, it might have been a different season for her, or I'm going through it. Like it always somehow end up being where it's like, man, I went through that too. Are you going through that? Okay,
Yeah.
I did that. So it'd be crazy when she be talking about stuff. But when we came up with this topic, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. She was like, well, life after wilderness. And what I say to you, coach, I said, well, I can't talk about that because I'm still in it. And we did the same thing we did now, but we were laughing about it.
Yes.
Because once again, as we always say, y'all, and I do the disclaimer, I always say we speak from experience. We speak, from our own perception of certain things and even just our opinions. And so when we were coming up with this topic and I was telling her, well, I'm still in the wilderness. Like, I'm trying to see what that's about. Like, I'm trying to get to that point. What that's about? But I love what you said, because I really believe it will help somebody, because somebody might be in that, they may be going into it, as you always say, they may be going into the wilderness. They may be in the wilderness. Maybe, hey Milan, they may be coming out of the wilderness.
Yes.
So right now I'm currently in it. We got Coach Sammy Love who came out of it, and somebody watching, they may be going in it. Maybe you can run from the wilderness. Let me just tell you that. Okay? You can't dodge it like you be dodging bill collectors. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to take place. And there's a reason why, honestly, the wilderness, it happens in our life, what goes on in our life. And so one of the things I wanted to touch on with what you just said, Coach Sammy Love, in regards to the wilderness, because you said a lot of great things of what transpired, but you was also dealing with the fact of a place of change, right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like right now, what God is doing in my life, there's a transition. There's something that he's doing in my life that he's never did before. And what, because we go through stuff and I've never experienced this, or I've never had this happen to me, certain things is taking place. And you said this is a moment where in the wilderness where God is removing some things from you and things are falling off of you, right? Because it cannot go to the next. Even as the Bible tells us, like, we go from that glory to glory. So a lot of things have to change. A lot of things have to adjust. And so for me, I'm in that which you just identified, which is a place of change, right? And then this was something that God was speaking to me this morning when I was praying. Was he was showing me, he says, a lot of times what happens is when you feel so uncomfortable, and I was actually going to do a post, or I thought I was going to go live. I don't know. I was still, y'all getting the VIP session of it. Okay. Because I'm still like, a lot of times I'll be digesting some stuff, but I really believe, like, at the end of the day, what I go through in my life is always a testimony to help somebody. But what God was showing me, Coach, was that when you're in these places that's so uncomfortable, when you're in these places that just feel so frustrating, could it be is because you've outgrown that place? And now you're trying to stay there when God is saying, I need you to shift.
Yeah.
I need you to change. I need you to move forward. And so now you become complacent. You become in this place where you're okay with a place that God said you should have shifted a long time ago.
That's good.
A place where God is saying, I did the changing, I did the molding, I did what I needed to do, and you now are playing catch up. God is like, I need you to move from this place. And the illustration that he gave me is like when people have dogs or, certain animals, you have to buy certain cages to fit where they are at.
That's good.
Sooner or later, they begin to grow. They begin to get bigger. And if you keep them in the thing that you bought them when they were first born, say it was a couple months, it gets real tight in there. You ever seen yourself getting this little small baby old cage for a little bitty pup, and then next getting big, and he trying to sit in there, he barely can get one leg in that little bag, and he up there just trying to go, because why? This was a place that he called home. This is a place that he was familiar with. This is a place where this dog, I know y'all looking like dogs and stuff, but y'all better be catching these revelations. It's like literally trying to fit in a place that God say you need to shift. You need to change. This is why you're uncomfortable, because you have outgrown this place. And some of us get to the place where we move in fear because we don't want to move ahead, because we're afraid of the unknown and we're afraid of what's going to take place. But this is a reason why certain things happen in our life. It has to happen. The wilderness is necessary. The change is necessary. The stripping away is necessary. That's what Paul said. He says, listen, put off those old things, put off those things that will easily trip you up. Why?
Yeah.
Because you can't run this race. You can't look forward. You can't press towards the prize of the high calling. You can't do any of those things, carrying dead weight, carrying sin, carrying all these other things. You have to be able to be at that place where you begin to let things go and let it be for what it is.
That's
and that
good.
blessed me because I'm a type of person where I tell people I self-reflect. So even with the day, with the week, whatever it is, I'll self-reflect and I'm like, okay, what could I have did different? Or how could I responded differently in this situation? Or God, what is it that you're trying to show me? Because this was being more highlighted. You know, I spend time with God and asking him those questions. And that's when God begins to download to me. He begins to let me know. So letting you know that, y'all, like Apostle just said right there, the wilderness cannot be avoided. And a lot of times, if we just yield, Coach Sammy, if we just surrender in that wilderness, God can have his way. We be prolonging things and we be stopping and waiting and all of this stuff when it's just like, just surrender. Like you said, look at you now, you know, of what you've been through with the wilderness and what God had did and shown himself even through the whole process. If we just get to that point. I think it'll be a lot easier. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be easy now, y'all. Listen, don't quote me. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be easy, but I feel like it would make it a lot better and a lot easier to move forward.
Yeah, because when you put more on you when you fight the process.
Oh, wait. You can't say that again.
You put more on you when you fight the process.
Jesus.
Because you're wrestling against God. He's all powerful. How are you wrestling against the all-powerful? So basically, you're making something that can be a light load, you making it heavy.
Wow.
So instead of it being just like a feather, you're actually carrying a rock. Why? Because you are fighting the process instead of surrendering to the process. See, it's like I was just thinking when you were talking how the wilderness is progressive. And what I mean by that, you move through the wilderness. You don't just stay in one spot in the wilderness because what the goal is to get you out of the wilderness. So whether it take you 40 years or 2 days, it's all up to you. Because when you are able to get what God is trying to do and you're surrendering to what he's doing in you, then you're able to move. It's like move to the next stage, move to the next level in the wilderness. But when you're fighting against him, what happens is you find yourself there for 40 years. Like Israel, you find yourself in the wilderness longer than you should have been. But because you fought the process, you had to stay longer. Because if you surrender to it, what it is when I'm thinking of that, it reminds me of a river, how there is a flow in the river. And when you get in the river, you can't stop the water. You got to flow with the river. So if you
that's good.
River, you flowing down the stream with the river. That's how people get caught up in riptides. That's how people get dragged out to the sea in the ocean, because you jump in, the water does not stop. Oh my goodness.
Water ain't stopping for you.
Does not stop for you. So if you go down to the river, when you jump in, it's taking you with it. It's not going to stop and wait for you to get comfortable. It's not going to stop to wait for you. Oh, wait a minute, let me get my footing right. So as soon as you put a leg in there, it's going to start pulling you the way that it's going. So if it's going downstream, that's where it's going to pull you. And so that's how I look at when God is taking you through the wilderness, it's a flow. But if you're fighting, people drown because they're fighting. Have you ever seen how somebody can jump in to save somebody else and that other person can end up drowning too because the other person is pulling them too?
Yeah.
Like the person you're trying to save is fighting against you.
Yeah, I did that with my daddy before.
Yeah. So the person is fighting against you. You feel me? Instead of saying, okay, this person jumped in to get me, I'm just going to surrender, let them pull me out. They're fighting against you, and you can cause somebody else to drown. Okay, so it's like you're fighting against God as he's trying to move you through the wilderness. And so what happens is you begin to be stuck in certain areas, and you're like, man, I've been dealing with this for so long. That's because you ain't getting it. You're fighting the process. God is trying to do something in you, but you're fighting what he's trying to do. When this can be where you can come through this, come out of it, but you're making your experience longer. So that's why I said that the wilderness is an season. That's how I see it. It's a season. It's an experience. It's an encounter. It's where God takes you, but he brings you out. I don't see you like next year I'm about to be in the wilderness again. I don't look at it that way. And the reason I was like, one time I was thinking about that and I was like, well, somebody debate me on that. How I'm going to like back that up with Bible or something. Okay. And then I got to thinking, Jesus went into the wilderness one time.
Yes.
I didn't read again where he went in again. The children of Israel, if I'm correct, they went in one time. They just stayed there a long time. But I don't remember them ever going back again. And so I was like, okay, now I got some scripture to back it up.
Because you know they love to ask you, like, hey, Evangelist Denise, they love to ask you and say, you got scripture?
Because I've heard people describe the season, the wilderness as something you keep going in and out of. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but that's me.
No, I agree. I get what you mean. Like, it's not like, okay, I'm in the wilderness 6 months. Okay, then 6 months, I'm out of it. Oh, I'm in the wilderness 6 months, then I'm out of it. Like, I believe, unless God has to take you through certain things. Because remember, like you just said, like you brought up that scripture.
It could be long.
It could be long. However, there is a reason for the wilderness. God don't do things, y'all, just for him to just do it. Everything God does is so strategic and so well planned out. Like, I was just saying, like, God, you so smart and excellent. And I was like, those probably ain't even words that even really amount to how you can do things, right? But that's how we can be able to express, like, God, you're so intelligent and so smart that you're able to come up with these things, because like the Bible told us, was the fact of Jesus was led. He was led to be tempted. He was led in the word, like he was led to those things, but it let you know that there was a reason. There was a reason why that had to happen, for him to be in the wilderness, for the temptation to have to happen. Because guess what? It shows us that it actually shows you how you overcome temptation. It shows you like so much in that scripture. We're not trying to give you our scripture as far as like, oh, let's go in sermon wise. But hey, if the Lord leads it, we some preachers here, right? But it really does show you of the fact of how you're able to overcome the wilderness, what goes on in the wilderness. Honestly, I want to encourage y'all, go take a look at Matthew 4. Okay, take a look at blessings, Prophetess Lisa.
Hello.
Take a look at Matthew 4, y'all. It is going to show you everything you need to know, and then some with the Bible, but to show you everything you need to know in regards to even a wilderness. I never thought about it till you just said some stuff. Like, now I can go back and look too and say some things.
It's crazy because I'm sitting here thinking of a book name, right? And you know how they say How to Survive in South Central? I'm writing a book, How to Survive in the Wilderness. Like,
listen, we both LA girls. Like, we both.
I'm sorry, I dozed. I was like,
did
How to Survive in the Wilderness. But
no, we did not. How to Survive in South Central. Come on, sis.
But this is what I wanted to say that you was talking, because you said how we was talking about how the wilderness. I was saying I don't see it as like I see it as in a season. I don't see it as something you keep going and out. But what I can say this is sometimes you could think you're out and you're really not.
No, that's true.
That's why I said I did about 4 to 5 years. I'm not even gonna lie. I did about 4 to 5. So you can think you're out of the wilderness and you're still in, because some of the pressure has been lifted off of you, but that's because you went to a different level.
Yeah,
but you're still in there. You'll know when you out.
Oh yeah,
you know, because when you're out, like I tell people now, my warfare now is not like the warfare I had in the wilderness. The warfare I had in the wilderness was intense.
Yeah.
The warfare on the outside after coming out, it still gets intense, but I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference. And like I said, restoration comes. So you feel the difference. You see the difference. It's things that happen outside of the wilderness after you come out that you can tell a difference. It's like now things get planted and they grow. Then in the wilderness, it was like I'm planting, but I don't see anything. And different things was happening. But me even telling you that, I remember MK been in the wilderness, and I remember I went through a season where I was like sowing tight. I was just sowing, right? And I'm like, man, but I'm sowing, but my bank account's still at zero. And I feel like I still don't have no money. I'm barely buying groceries, like, and I'm sowing. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's my faith. So I'm reading scriptures on faith and this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm giving more money. Like, I'm just like, because I'm hearing preaching and I'm thinking, well, maybe I ain't got no faith. Maybe I ain't giving enough money. Like in my mind, I'm just like, why is like, I'm doing principle, like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing per se. And nothing is happening. But let me tell you, so that went on. But when the Lord brought me out, this is what he said. He told me that he allowed that to happen so that I would get to know him and that I would know him as Jehovah Jireh. He did that. So therefore, I will know that he is the one that provides for me. He is the one that takes care of me. He wanted me to know that it's him that does everything. So therefore, I wouldn't think it was my job. I wouldn't think it was this, but that I would know it was him. So he did that to show me that he is the one that provides for me. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it sounds like. So he allowed those things to happen so that I would completely depend on him. So it wasn't about me if I didn't have enough faith. It wasn't about if I wasn't tithing enough. But what it was he wanted me to know him as the God who provides.
Yes, that's good.
So therefore, now on this side, I can tell you God is going to come through. God is going to provide. Why? Because he provided for me in the wilderness. He provided for me when it looked like nothing was going to happen, but he needed that to happen. Why? Because God is going to always bring you out of the wilderness with a testimony.
Come on.
That's why I said I'm going to write a book about it, because he's going to always bring you out with a testimony. And what happens is you're able to share with other people to not be scared of the wilderness. And to be able to encourage other people in the wilderness. So I can sit here and encourage you in the wilderness. Why? Because I'm on the outside. I already made it over. So I'm like, MK, you can make it. Yeah, don't give up. Don't remember I told you this one day, MK, and I'm gonna let them in. I told you that I said, MK, I'm getting emotional, y'all. Look, I felt that. Remember one day I told you, I said, MK, I'm not gonna let you die in the wilderness.
I remember. Oh my gosh.
I said, whatever, I don't care what's going on, but I'm not going to let you die in the wilderness.
I remember that.
Yeah. So it's almost like he bring you out and you're able to yell in to the people that's still in there. And they can't see you, but they can hear you, and they can hear because I'm speaking life to you, even though sometimes all you see is wilderness.
Jesus.
Do you know that when you're in the wilderness, you're at a level that you can only see what's in front of you? But somebody that's on the mountain can see what you don't see. So it's almost like the person he brings out before you and that's able to tell you their testimony. They're on the mountain and they got a walkie-talkie. And they're talking down to MK as she's in it. And I'm like, MK, go to the left. No, MK, don't do that. No, don't eat those berries because those berries make you sick. How do you know? Because I ate those berries and they made me sick.
Oh, that's good.
So I can tell you, no, MK, don't do this. No, MK, no, get up, keep going, drink some water, keep going. Okay, go this way. Why? Because I have a view that you don't have because I've already went through it. And I can tell you certain things. Why? Because I was in it. So as you going through it, I'm able to yell to you, say, no, don't give up, MK.
That's good.
Don't fold, MK. No, not right here, MK. You can't give up right here. Like you too close because you're too close to the finish line to give up. Because there are people who die in the middle. I'm talking too much.
No. You helping some folks. You help. Look, she called me, y'all. She caused me to level up. No, because I was being honest. I said, I never can speak from a place that I ain't never been. That's never me, and that's never where I want to be. I never want to be like, oh, let me speak on this topic, or let me speak on this, let me speak on that, and make myself look like I didn't just went through all of this stuff. No, like I always tell people, I am only going to give you the best encouragement based off of what I've went through, unless the Holy Spirit obviously gives me something to encourage you with, the word of God, whatever it is that the Lord is leading me to. But I'm not going to speak on certain things where it's like, Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Like
Yeah.
I can't help you overcome certain things if I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
I can encourage you, but I feel like when you actually went through the very thing I'm going through and you're able to, like you say, hey, don't eat this, don't do that, don't do that, like it holds more weight. What you've been through holds more weight versus you just telling me, keep going, girl, you got it. All right, you're almost there. No, like you ain't. See, what I got even just in that right there, coach, is you gave me details. Most people can't give you details to the situation.
Wow.
Because they have not been there. So they can just keep telling you the most cliche thing we can say, but trust me, it does help, which is keep going. You got this. Because I always say that. Y'all know me. I'm like, you got this. Keep moving, keep going forward, keep doing that. But you gave details. You said, no, MK, don't go that way. Go this way. No. Don't eat those berries. Why? Because I ate those and they'll make you sick. You gave me detail in the wilderness, y'all. God will give you people and place people in your life that will help you. But some of us get so stubborn that we want to go through it ourselves. Some of us feel like you deserve to go through the wilderness. Like, I got to go through this. I got to make this. No. If I'm able to avoid certain things, if I'm able to push past certain stuff, then go ahead. Give me the advice. Give me the wisdom. But make sure you take it from people who hear from God. I got to get this disclaimer out there right now. Make sure you take it from people who really hears from God. Make sure you're listening to people who has a relationship with God, because there's nothing worse than to be in a wilderness. There's nothing worse to be in transition. There's nothing worse to be in a place where God is shaping you and making you uncomfortable, and a lot of things is taking place, and you have people in your life who don't have the Holy Spirit, and now they're telling you what Buddha said. They telling you what Muhammad have said. They telling you what the waters and the wind things and all this other stuff they got, foolishness they got going on. They're telling you all of these things, which does what? Lead you down to witchcraft, lead you down to destruction. So it's best to make sure that you use your discernment, which the Holy Spirit gives us, to let us know, hey, they're gonna help you. I'm gonna send them. Come on, Apostle. I'm gonna send them and they're going to help you. But you can't be in this place where you're naive, and you can't be in this place where you're so stubborn that you feel like you just got to do everything. Baby, if you gonna tell me go right instead of left, that it's gonna avoid 10 miles, baby, I'm gonna go ahead and take what you told me to do, because I ain't trying to keep walking them 10 miles.
That's good.
That's what we're about to do, because that's what the Proverbs tells us. Like, you foolish because you're not taking heed to the wisdom that is being given to you. So that's right there in itself is powerful. That's right there in itself. That's what I was getting when you were speaking. It's like the details of it. The details of what it is you've been through, because you went there. So you know from A to Z, you know how it's going to make you feel. You know the thought process, you know how your body may even feel spiritually. Can you think about those things of even with Jesus? It's like him going through the wilderness and all, the weight of the assignment. The weight of the assignment that he had and how he was feeling it, what he was thinking, and all of those things, like it carries more weight. And there was something I wanted to go back to, what Apostle has said, but he said he believed it becomes difficult when your trust is no longer on the Lord as you go through. I think that's very powerful. And that's very key, because as God is dealing with me, even just in the wilderness. And can I even tell y'all this? Just be mindful too of who you let in when you are going through change, when God is doing some shifting in your life, when you are in that wilderness, like be very mindful who you allow, be very mindful who comes into your space, because I'm telling you, the enemy will use somebody very close to you who will have you so far off course where you used to be a Christian. Hey, Elder Joanne. Hey, Rihanna. Where you used to be a Christian, but now you over here burning sage and you got crystals on your necklace and stuff. And you talking about, I'm in the wilderness because, God told me I got to burn these spirits as I go through. Who told you that? Who told you that? Like Mother Goddess? Who told you that? So that's why it's very important to make sure when you are in those certain seasons of your life, just be mindful of who you're sharing it with. But what Apostle has said, boiling down to at the end of the day, it's a lot that we can get with the wilderness. It's a lot that we can get when coming out of the wilderness, all of these things, but it's the trust. Like, I think that really is, like Apostle said, where it makes it very difficult is because we somehow lose that trust. And that's where God has to deal with me on, is because it's easy for you to say, God, I trust you. But what happens when you're really in that situation? What happens when you feel like your back is against the wall? What happens when you feel like you're losing everything? What happens when you feel like everybody's turning their back on you? What happens when you're feeling like you're in a season of isolation? Like, do you still trust God then? Do you still trust that he's a God? Like you said, he had to show you that he was your provider. He was the one that was going to provide for you. He was the one where you're going to be able to look at him and say, it was only God that allowed for me to make it. It was only God that was able to allow for me to be able to be in this place financially. And not only that, coach, but you came out of the wilderness, because you said some people are dying it. Some people, they won't even move forward, right? They'll give up, right? And that's why we go through the repetitive cycles. But the thing is, you came out of the wilderness with a sound mind.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't think about that. We don't count certain things for blessings, but you came out with a sound mind. So even trusting you, God, I trust you that you're going to be my provider, that even when I'm going into it, while I'm in here and while I'm coming out of it, you're going to be my provider. You're going to be the one that allows for my mind to be sound. You're going to be the one that opens up the way, or whatever it may be. It's all going to be you, God. It's going to be you. He says, I am that I am. And so I think that's so powerful, because it's like we can battle with that thing. And the thing is, the enemy can get us in that moment when we don't trust God.
Yeah.
Because he can be like, look, God, they don't even trust you. She ain't even trust you. You're gonna bring her out. She doubting your words. She doubting what you're saying. And it's like, God is like, no, you making it difficult. You're making it harder because you just don't trust me. You don't trust my word.
Yeah. And that's when you were talking, I was thinking how God strips you. There's a stripping that happens in the wilderness. I believe there's a stripping that happens. And what it is stripping away everything that you depend on. Everything you went in there with, because sometimes we go in with this thing where we're so used to dotting our I's, crossing our T's. And I told somebody, I said, sometimes God will put you in a situation where he'll show you that he's in control, because there's nothing you can do about it. Where you'll literally be in a situation where you're like, well, if God don't change it, ain't nothing gonna happen. And he will put you there to show you who's in control. So what happens in the wilderness is stripping. It's like, I'm stripping away all that old stuff. I'm stripping away the old mindset. I'm stripping away of self-made attitude that you did. You're going here, and what I'm going to do is, in here, I'm going to strip away everything to where you have to depend on me. You know, you have no choice.
No other choice.
You have no choice, because in here, in order to get everything you need, it's going to take your trust in me, and you dependent on me. See, because I don't want you independent no more. You've been independent too long, but I'm about to make you come. I'm going to take you through the wilderness so that you become dependent on me.
That's good.
That you become dependent on me. You build your trust in me. You build your faith in me. You had your confidence in people. You've had your faith in people. But why it's so hard to put your faith in me? And that's crazy, because we'll put our faith and trust in people so easily, but we won't even put our faith and trust in God. And that's a whole nother lesson. But and people let us down, but we want to trust God. And so what it is that it's like, he's like, okay, I'm going to bring you through here. And through, it's like a car wash. I keep using rivers and car washes, but it's like a car wash. So it's like, as you going in, I'm thinking of those car washes that you sit in the car and it goes and it washes your car. It's like, as a car wash, I'm coming and I'm stripping away things that don't belong on you. But when the car comes out, the car looks better than when it went in.
Come on here.
Because the machine stripped away the stuff, the dirt, the grime, whatever. It depends on which one you paid for. You get the full treatment. And when you come out on the other side, your car looked better than what it was. And so what God does is, it's like he takes you through this stripping process. He takes you through this wilderness experience, this wilderness for season, however yours may last. Because God knows how long you need to be there. I needed to be there about 4 or 5 years. That was me, though. Everybody is different. And I needed to be there that time. Why? Because when I brought you out on the other side, I needed your faith to be stronger. I needed you to be more wiser. I needed your hearing, your listening to be on a heightened level. So I had to stay there. Why? Because I needed different things to happen, because it was a lot in me.
Wait, so don't bypass that. Say that again.
It was a lot in me. So I had to stay in there longer.
Did y'all catch that? Okay, go ahead.
So it was like I had to stay in there longer because there was a lot in me. So the washing was more. The washing was more intense. Did it feel good? No. Did sometimes I want to give up? Yes. I tell people all the time, there was a season where I literally, I'm not gonna lie. One of my friends, I was telling somebody, I know I ain't gonna make it too long, but I said, you know, when you got that good cry on your shoulders, is like that. That's how you know I got a good cry. Your shoulders be jumping up and down when you're tired, right? That's what you know. A good cry. And I remember I was having that good cry, right? Because not only am I in the wilderness, but I'm being sifted too.
Ooh,
so I'm getting sifted. Everything is coming at me at once. And she asked me, she's like, she looking at me, she's like, why are you crying like that? And you know, because everybody know me to be the strong person, encouraging everybody. And you know, so you could tell she looking at me like puzzled. She's like, why are you crying like that? And I said, because I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to fight no more. And it's two folds to that. I said, I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to fight no more. I'm ready to lay my weapons down. Like I was ready to let the enemy just do whatever you wanted to do, just do. I don't want to, I didn't fight all my life. That's how I felt like Oprah Winfrey. I've been fighting all my life. But it was that, but that's how I felt. I was like, I fought before I got to Christ. Now I'm in Christ. I gotta fight. Like I'm tired of fighting. Like I don't want to fight. And so, and she looks at me and I'm just crying tears. And I was like, I don't want to fight no more. I'm tired. And now when I think about that, later on that day, or maybe like some days later, someone said, you're fighting the process. They said, the sooner you submit to the process, the better it will be.
Yeah.
And that's the story I tell you, how I went home and I waved in prayer. I waved a white flag before God and I told him I surrendered. And I told him, you could take whatever you want to take. You could have whatever you want to have. I don't want it. Take it. I was at the point like, just let's get it over with. Whatever you're going to strip me of, whatever needs to go, just get it. And it seemed like as soon as I did that, a weight lifted off of me because I was fighting the process.
Oh, Jesus.
So when you are fighting the process, that's what happens. Remember I said you put more on yourself. So as long as I was fighting the process, I had this weight. And I didn't, because I was fighting. And when I surrendered, then I could feel the weight lift off of me. And it felt so much better, even though I was still in the wilderness, even though I was still being sifted, it felt better.
Ooh.
And it's like I adjusted to it. Why am I going to fight against something that God is taking me through? Why am I going to fight against it? I might as well adapt to it and learn and grow through it instead of fighting against it. Since this is gonna happen, he gonna let because you know how you always hear me and then I'm be quiet. You know how I always say there are certain things you're gonna go through and it's only gonna be one time. You'll never see it again. So why not just go through it with grace?
Oh, that's good.
Why not go through it and get what you need to get through it? Why not just participate? After participate, you know, just like you allow God to do whatever he needs to do, whatever stripping he needs to do, whatever he needs to take, whatever needs to go, whatever I need to lose, whatever it may be, Lord, whatever it may be, do it.
Yeah.
It's almost like the sooner you do it, the sooner we get it over with.
Just get it over with.
Just get it over with. But as long as you fight in the process, let me tell you, you won't make it out. And that's what I got to say.
That's good. I love what I'm gonna respond to what you guys said, and we're gonna close this thing out. But Elder Joanne, she says, I thank God for my wilderness because now I appreciate my wealth.
That's good.
That's a testimony that shows you guys, even as you're hearing from Coach Sammy Love and you're hearing as far as what God has did for her in the wilderness and even coming out of the wilderness. But you also have our very own elder who is also a part of Empowered Church is letting you know that she went through the wilderness and she thanked God for it. Because a lot of us, we won't thank God for it. We'll be like, God, why am I in the wilderness? Why you put me here? But she says, I thank God for my wilderness because now I appreciate my wealth. As we even said it last week, God is going to reward his children. He's going to reward you for your suffering. He's going to reward you for the things that you have done. Even the Bible tells us that is that when you literally suffer with God, yes, you can't reign with him. But the Bible also talks about if you're suffering for his name's sake, you will be rewarded. But if you are suffering because it's something you have did, God is not rewarding that thing. And so even when we're dealing with this wilderness, and you were saying, Coach, in regards to even just fighting, and it's like you're resisting and all of this stuff. Y'all know me. I love action movies and stuff. You don't know, I love action movies, right? I love watching the whole police SWAT team. I swear, like in another life or something, like back then, I probably could have been a part of the FBI, CIA, whatever. I don't know. Because I love that type of stuff. But when you look at those certain movies or certain TV shows and they're dealing with the police and things like that, anytime they're arresting somebody, Coach, a lot of times you have, okay, let me say, majority of the time, there's some people who would just be like, okay, all right, I know I did wrong. Go ahead and arrest me. You know, it's an easy process, right? It's an easy process because you knew you did wrong. Like, you ain't finna fight. You ain't finna run. You ain't finna do none of that. They just go ahead, put you in cuffs, put you in the back seat, take you down there, book you, whatever the case is. It's an easier process. Then you got some folks who it ain't so easy with. Some folks who don't want to let go, some folks who knew they did wrong and they're trying to justify, y'all. I know I'm talking about a TV and all that, but please catch this revelation. They're trying to justify it, and now they begin to fight the police, right? So the police is like, what they always say, stop resisting, stop resisting, right? And so I'm sitting here when I be watching this stuff, and I'm like, why don't they just stop? You're surrounded by 50 million police. Where do you think you're gonna run to? Where do you think you're about to get away from? Why are you fighting them so much? Not only did you just get one involved, but now you got like 15 of them. They jumping you because why? They're trying to, because at the end of the day, too, I really believe it's like they're more trying to protect the people out in the public, but they're also trying to protect themselves because they don't know what you're capable of doing. And so let me be able to restrain you. Let me be able to put these handcuffs on you, because then I could be able to talk to you, or we could go through this situation. But here it is. You have this person, y'all, that's resisting. So when they're resisting, now they like, stop resisting. What they finna do? They pull out the taser. Now if you would have just been like the person exhibit A and just say, you know what, I'm going to surrender. I'm just be like, okay, hey, I did wrong. You know, I got a couple traffic tickets. I got tickets. You know, go ahead so I can pay my fine. Like, if you just make it easier with just surrendering, y'all. This is dealing with surrender. The process is easier. It don't make it to where it's like, okay, it's gonna be completely easy, like it's gonna be a breeze. Nah, you're gonna go through some stuff. But then you got the person B, exhibit B, who's wrestling with the cop, who's fighting with the cop. Now that he got tasered, he probably got some hits and some cuts and bruises because he rolling around on the floor. Like, if you would have just surrendered, you would have made the process a lot easier. And so when you were saying that, I was thinking of that, literally, that was playing in my mind. Like, man, if you would just stop moving, just stop doing this, like, it would just be easier. But the thing is, resistance happens when you can't accept reality.
That's good. Resistance. That's good. I like that.
When you cannot accept what reality is.
I like that.
The reality that you're going to jail because you did some things, you said some things, whatever the case may be. If you just accept that, then it'll make it a lot easier. And I want to go to what Rihanna said, because she said it's easier said than done. Trust me, Rihanna, I don't know if that's what you were kind of referring to, but I'm in that. I'm in that right now. So I get it. But I understand what Coach Sammy Love is saying in regards to the surrendering part. I understand what she's saying in regards to just yield and stop fighting the process, because it's like this tug of war that's taking place. And at the end of the day, if you don't know, God is going to have his way. He's going to have his way. So whether it's going to be some breaking, some shaking, some crying, like you said, what would you call that little cry with the shoulders? Whatever that is, cry. He's going to get what he needs to get out of you. That's the thing. Coach, you said it earlier. There was so much in you, and that was a reason why you had to stay in the wilderness that long. It's because God says, daughter, I don't want you moving forward with all this hurt, with all this trauma, with all this pain, with everything that have happened to you, with everything that was said to you. I don't want you moving forward with this. I want you to be able to feel there's a weight that lifted up. There's something that shifted. There's something that took in place. And we say this all the time, even with deliverance, is that when people go through deliverance, you're like, girl, you look better.
Yeah.
You look different, like something. You
Yeah.
just got to glow. You just got some,
Yeah.
just looking amazing. You looking beautiful, girl.
Came out
Because why?
shining. Came out
Like you
shining.
came out shining. Like that, even the illustration with the car. Your
Yeah.
car all got bird boo boo, all this that stains and all that. But you took it through the car wash, and there was a washer, there was a purification, there was
Yeah.
something that happened, and now you pull up out the car wash and it's squeaky clean. It's
Yeah.
looking good. So at the end of the day, you guys, just don't fight the process.
Yeah.
You see that there is people who are commenting on here and letting us know in regards to life after wilderness, a life after wilderness of God blessing them, of God showing them, of God mapping things out, of God putting the pieces to the puzzles together, and just letting you know that it's for your good. Even as the Bible tells us that the enemy meant it for evil, but God has turned it around, and he will turn it around for your good.
That's good.
You have to remember that it all works out for you. All things work out for you because you are God's children, because you obey him, because you trust him, because you know what his word says. And I want to say this too, Rihanna, because like I said, I could feel the pain with that one. Like, listen, it's easier said than done to trust God. But I mean, I'm looking at this situation, I'm looking at that. But really what helps me, Rihanna, in regards to that is stand in his face. I know it sounds so cliche, but the more I spend time with God, the more I'm literally the season where God has me on my face. Like, I'm on my face, I'm crying, I'm weeping. I'm like, God, this is a lot. This is this is that. But like you said, he gives you that grace.
Yeah.
The grace, just like he gave with Paul when he said, listen, there's a thorn in my flesh. I want you to remove. He says, my grace is sufficient for you. I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to give you exactly everything you need, every detail, everything of in the wilderness. I'm going to give it to you. And so the more that I spend time with God, the more that even when I'm in my feelings, Rihanna, come on, I'm in my feelings a lot. And I'm in my feelings and I'm like, God, I don't understand this, all this other stuff. I just lay on my face and I let God have his way. Mm-hmm. And the more he does that, the more he shows me what I was battling with, the more he shows me what was in my heart, the more he shows me my thought process during that. Because at the end of the day, the Bible tells us our thoughts are not like his thoughts. Our ways are not like his ways. And so in the wilderness, God is saying, I need you to trust the process. I need you to trust my word. I need you to trust that I'm going to bring you out of this. I need you to trust that I'm positioning you so that you can think like I think, so that you can have my ways. Could the reason be that for some of us, the reason why we're in the wilderness so long is because God is stripping the things away, but he wants us to be more like him. And it doesn't feel good because we're so used to having the old man. We're so used to responding a certain way. We're so used to being in our flesh. Can we be honest? We're so used to being carnal, but when God has taken us through the pruning, he's taken us through the purification. He says, I just want you to look more like me. I just want you to carry my nature. I just want you to carry my character. I just want you to be able to respond like I will respond. I just want your attitude to match up with mine. So yes, I'm going to take you through this. Some of us, God be dragging us through it and we fighting him and we wrestling. He's still dragging us through that mud because it's something that is necessary. It's something that has to take place. So at the end of the day, we know that God is strategic and everything he does is for a reason, y'all. Yeah. For a reason. So I don't have anything else because Coach, she pretty much she knocked this one out the ballpark. Boop! Out the ballpark right here. But this has been honestly a blessing, even just to listen to you, Coach, and even just other people that are on here. Like I said, especially Elder Joanne. Filled with so much wisdom, y'all. Filled with so much wisdom. And even how she just, I mean, like literally, I told her, I was like, you gotta write a book about wisdom. Like I told her, because she speaks honestly with so much grace in regards to the things that she has been through, and the things that she has faced. But it just lets you know, you guys, that you will overcome this. You can overcome this. And I want to stress this because we're gonna close this out. But do not die in the wilderness. Do not give up in the wilderness, especially if you're so close to the finish line. Some of y'all don't even realize that you're so close to the finish line and you're ready to tap out. You're ready to give up. You're questioning God's word. Like you ain't questioning it prior to that. But now that you're coming up on the finish line, now you're questioning everything God has said because of the amount of years or the amount of time. You never know that God could take you to a wilderness and it could be 1 week, it could be 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's something that God is doing for you. And whatever he does, it's working out in your favor.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And what I would say is, I just want to encourage those that to know that I'm living post wilderness. So I'm living in the restoration. And just to encourage you that there is restoration. I'm going to say it again. There is restoration after the wilderness.
Yes, that's good.
So that's like the hope that I give you, to know that on the other side, there is milk and honey. That on the other side, God is going to restore. That on the other side, you're going to see things that you never imagined. On the other side, it's much different. So that encourages you to not fight the process. That encourages you to continue to walk forward. Why? Because I need to continue to walk through this wilderness, so therefore I can get to the other side. So I'm living on the other side, and it's awesome. Yes, I still get warfare. Yes, things still happen, but I'm on the other side, and I can look back and tell people now. So that's what I want people to be encouraged of, is that the life after the wilderness, it doesn't even compare to the life you had before the wilderness. Life after the wilderness is so much better than before you went into the wilderness. So it's like, don't fight the process and allow God to be God. And I just, even when it comes to the faith thing, it's about, that's what you said, sometimes looking at it. And so that's why it reminds me of how the Bible says we walk by faith, not by sight. So you can't let what you see make you change your verbiage.
That's
and
good.
I even have something I wrote. I said, when you don't understand what God is doing, you have to remember his character.
That's good.
And that goes back to spending time with him. So even in the wilderness, you have to spend time with him. That's what it's all about. It's about you getting to know the Father. It's about you growing in him. So if you're in the wilderness and you're still not spending time and you still not having a prayer life, then yeah, you're going to experience certain things. But this is the time when you lean into the Father. This is the time when you want more of the Father. Why? So then I can know my daddy.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm trusting him. So yes, even when things don't look right, because I say this all the time. Sometimes you have to close your eyes and hold on to your Father's hand.
Yes.
Because what you looking at will mess up your vision. But you hold his hand in faith and in trust. So that's what it goes on. Is it, I talk as if it's easy. No, don't think that I went through there smiling or something. No. But what it was is that I knew that, okay, I'm going to trust him. Because what else do I have to put my faith in? Who else can I? So it's to that point where it's like, Father, I want to know you more and more. And that's by spending time with him. So therefore, I know, like, if this is happening, my Father is allowing this, and I know his word cannot come back void. That's about spending time with him. I need to know him.
Yes.
I need to know him. So in this wilderness, I'm going to get to know him. So therefore, I know what the things my Father do. I know the things he's taking me through, and I'm going to hold on to that. And so that's how your faith get built. Ain't by what you see, because what you see may never change, but it's about what I know. That's why you have to remind yourself, MK, what I know.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to talk to yourself, and you got to speak to yourself what I know.
Yes.
I know him to be a good guy. I know him to be a provider. I know he gonna make a way. He always shows up. Like, you're reminding yourself who he is to you.
Yeah. No, I know we try to close this out, y'all, because we gotta go. We gotta go. But like you said, remind yourself and encourage yourself. And as I always do, I know we just saying Rihanna, but y'all, there's other people on here who has experienced certain things and stuff like that. But hang on to his voice, because that's what has been getting me through the wilderness, is because I'm hanging on to his voice. The Bible tells us in Romans 10:17, it says, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. I'm going to say it again. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. My faith is built up the more I read his word out loud. The more I spend time with him, the more I seek after him, the more I lay on my face, my faith is being built up, which allows for me to do what? To keep on going. So the more that I'm hanging on to his voice, as the Bible tells us, incline your ears to heaven to hear what the living God is saying. This is what you got to do in the season that you're in the wilderness, is you need to hang on to his voice. God, I may not be able to understand it. I may not be able to process this, but I'm going to hang on to your voice. I know your voice because you say my sheep know my voice and a stranger they will not follow. So I'm going to hang on to what you're saying. If you say, daughter, come this way, come a little closer to the right, I'm going to hang on to your voice and I'm going to follow you to the right. And the more that I keep moving forward towards you, God, the more you're going to keep giving me the words to keep pulling me through the wilderness. And soon enough, I'm going to get to that point where it's my exit. It's my exit.
Don't miss your exit.
Come on, don't miss your exit because you're listening to the voice of God. And the more I listen to his voice, he's pulling me out of the wilderness. This is why you got to hang on to his voice. Y'all didn't stir me up now. Woo! You didn't stir me up because I'm hanging on to his voice. I know the enemy's trying to discourage me. I know that what I'm seeing, because that's why you said we don't walk by what we're seeing, because when we walk by what we're seeing, we're going to get discouraged. We'll talk ourselves out of it. We'll stay in the wilderness. We'll throw ourselves a pity party. But I got to hang on to his voice. Even if I close my eyes and I hear his voice, I'm being built up. My spirit man is being built up to where I can't shake this thing. The devil can't discourage me. The devil can't pull me away. The devil can't get me to move away from my position. Why? Because I'm listening to what the Father is saying and I'm holding on to his voice. That's all I got. I'm done, y'all.
That's all I got too.
We got time to take the future mode.
We
got time to take us.
We done.
We done, y'all. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Go back and listen to this. Save this video because trust me, you're gonna need it sooner or later. You're gonna need it sooner or later. So please go ahead, y'all. Continue to share, tag people in. Like I said, we definitely appreciate you guys so much for your love, your support, with tagging, with sharing. We got one more episode, y'all. One more. For those who came in a little late, we have one more episode for the season because this is season 3. We usually take a break and then we come back. And that will be going into probably like January 2024. It'll pretty much be around there, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna be in January.
Yeah, it's gonna be in January. I'm talking about like as far as like the date and stuff. I can't think of it. But we'll be definitely coming back, y'all. So we appreciate y'all. This is season 3. So remember to stay connected with us, you guys, on all the platforms. It is
tickets.
Get your ticket for the conference that is next year. Actually, next year.
Couple of months.
But it's next year. Please don't forget to get your tickets, you guys. And it will be on February 24th of 2024. So please stay connected. It's on the ticker below. And then also, you guys, we have did this based off of amount of people who have access to. But if you guys have been blessed on tonight, whatever it was that was said, whatever it was that hit you, whatever it may be, if you are feeling led, you can definitely sow a seed. The Cash App is $Level Up Podcast. It's on the ticker below. Once again, $Level Up Podcast. If you was blessed on tonight, thank you, Evangelist Denise. You did get your ticket. We saw that. The tickets are, y'all, I'm telling you, people are buying them, and VIP is limited. Okay, VIP is limited. Seats is limited overall, but there's only a select few of the VIP. Because as you know, you get assigned seating, you get a prophetic council, you also get a VIP box. I can't think of all the other stuff, y'all, but I know it comes with more on there. Okay, so please get your ticket. Do not wait. Continue to share, and that's it.
We gotta go. So we see y'all next week.
We see y'all next week. Y'all have a great night, and we love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until then, see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.